Hi, and welcome to episode 3 of our short snippet series around getting your mobile Guardian portal or console configured and a little bit of intro into what everything does. So, today we'll be covering managing your devices on the devices tab within your portal and having a look at a way to centrally manage devices and also do some auto tracking on devices and manage how these devices are being used within your environment. We'll be looking at ways that you can add devices as well as just configure and get some useful information from an IT point of view, from an IT admin point of view, on what is happening on these devices. So let's jump straight in. Let's go ahead and sign in to our console. And then navigate over to the devices tab. So what this tab, what you'll see in front of you now is essentially a list of all devices that exist within your environment that has been synced across or been added. So every device that's in your environment, you'll get some useful information as a snapshot onto what OS. So the device that you see here is a Chromebook. The model number, which profile is currently active at this time, any specific tags related to this, as well as when last the device was seen and synced up. So this all devices tab is a great way just to get it, once again, just a little high level snapshot of what's happening on your or within your environment on any given day, what devices have come online, which haven't, and obviously you can filter these and sort them as to, most recently online, most recently offline, as well as being able to search for specific devices if you need to. So you have the ability to do that via the search function. Just going further on, you can also configure a list of inventory. So let's say, for example, you have devices that are unassigned to students, and you just need to make sure you're always tracked. You're able to add a description of what this is, as well as if it's assigned or in storage, you're able to manage that from a nice central point of view. So it's a handy little add-on just to make managing inventory a little bit easier. You can also assign teacher groups at this point. So you're able to assign teachers in specific groups the ability to be able to self-manage a bit. So within here, you be able to allow teachers to clear devices activation locks as an example, perhaps even allow the teachers the ability to link devices with students or unlink devices with students. So, just in case something might happen during the lesson and they need to change a device, giving the teacher the ability to do this, you're able to toggle this on and off. If you're using iOS devices, you're also able to manage your iOS device updates within one central menu here. So, it's sometimes you might find that some devices require an older version of an OS to work with specific related apps. Applications that the school's using might not be available on a newer version of iOS. So you're able to manage this from one nice central point, see which devices are currently on this, and you can do it from here, which is great. And obviously check for updates and apply updates centrally as opposed to on each device, which is really, really cool. You can also, from here, add new devices. So obviously, depending on which devices you're using and how you've synced these up. On iOS, if you've used Configurator, you can do it via this. You can do it this way in the QR code and scan them in. If you use Apple School Manager, you're able to also go ahead and just add the device over here, scan the QR code, and it does all the work for you. Same thing for Android. So signing in with the account, macOS, and then also Chromebook. So once, obviously, Chromebook's slightly different, as you can imagine, because you would sync that across via your OU. So you have the ability to bring it in via OU, but you are able to just you obviously do it. You can obviously do it here as well, but it's much better to do it from the Chromebook configuration. So what makes this tool very great and what makes this menu very good is the ability to manage devices and really dive deep into what's happening on this device from an IT admin point of view and being able to manage it. So you can see here, unlike the student menu, this is all pertaining to the device, but also obviously gives you an idea of who's linked with this. So right now, this device is owned by Kate Wolseley. And if we jump in, just from the kind of landing dashboard, I can see a snapshot as to exactly what's happening on this device right now. What URLs were blocked. So whatever profile was applied, what URLs were blocked, as well as what URLs were viewed on this device, when it was done, where the device is, and we can even then take it one step further and actually dive a bit deeper. So currently where this device is, so you can see here, I live in Cape Town, South Africa, and exactly where I am right now because this device is currently connected. So every time it picks up a Wi-Fi network or picks up that it's online and connected, it'll drop a pin, and you'll be able to see where this device is, as well as get a history of it, which I'll show you a bit later. Another cool way to centrally manage these devices is to have all the information on hand. So as you sync up and add devices, it's going to pull these details and actually apply it within this menu. So you have a nice snapshot of what is exactly the things that is important, when you're managing devices. So let's say a device breaks or gets stolen, you need to lodge an insurance claim. You have access to the serial number, to the IMEI number, as well as the IP address of that device, and even some snapshots into internal storage. So being able to manage the devices and make sure that they have enough space should you need to push applications or content or anything like that, you're able to see that from this view. You can also obviously change device names, any display names that you'd like to on an individual basis like this, and apply any PIN to this device and manage whether it is classroom device or a school-owned device or personal device. What's great is you also get an indication of what applications are on this device. So you can see, if a student comes through and says, oh, they're having problems with, not seeing an application, you're able to jump in and check through and see what applications are on this device and see if anything's missing. And if they are missing, go ahead, hit the sync missing applications, and that'll then push it through, as you can see, down to the device and make the necessary changes should it be. If there's any books that you've uploaded to your console that you need to push down to the device, you can also then add that and just get a snapshot and see what books are on, any books that are installed that have been pushed down correctly and are existing on that device. Profiles, which we'll get to a little bit later, is just ensuring that the right profiles are applied to this device in real time. And you can see, in a one-to-one environment like I've got mine set up, I have different restrictions at different times. So you might find within your school as well that during school time, you might want to be more restrictive with things like YouTube, perhaps, or other platforms, maybe Facebook, Instagram, on these devices. But when they go home, you might want to be a bit more relaxed and allow kids to actually use the devices, especially if parents have paid for them. Sometimes parents will feel that they've paid for it and they want their kids to be able to use it at home. You're able to ease up and be a bit more lenient on these restrictions and allow them access to YouTube, but you'll have a snapshot as to ensure that all profiles are working. What's also cool is the ability just to track the history of sign-ins and sign-outs and any changes on this device. So you can see here that currently 2 profiles are being applied depending on the time frame, as well as who signed in when and if they had to sign out, to let you know. And if a different user signed in, you have the ability to see that from this audit track. Where it gets really great again is obviously the ability to track browser history. So should something once again happen, you're able to check on the device what was searched for, and then obviously see that again with the user that was signed in. So it doesn't matter who signed into this device, if it's configured correctly, the history is going to apply to the user, not to the device, which is very important, because if you are in a multi-class environment and different users are signing into shared devices, you do have that ability to make sure that the appropriate action or the need to deep dive is done against the right person. So the ways you can do it, obviously per week, per month, per quarter, or a custom range. If I just go in here and do that, you can see I get the entire snapshot of what has been happening on this device, all within here, which is really, really great. And then you can also see here, I can also search for specific terms if I need to. So anything relating to YouTube, I can then get a snapshot, and you can see according to my profile, YouTube's now blocked at this time, but every other time YouTube's been allowed as I need it to be. And then finally, with devices starting to go home and more distance learning being facilitated, the ability to be able to track where your devices have been has become more and more important, and kind of where the history of this device has gone. So should the event of a device go missing, you do just have that little bit of an audit track to make sure that these devices are secure. So you can see here right now, I am sitting here, and you can see that these I've been here for a specific amount of time, and I can even take this back on a different range, and you can see what's interesting is that as this device picks up different networks, it's going to drop a pin and log that. So you just give it a second while it completes this action. You'll see that when I go back to the office, it picks up that I've registered. So you can see here now, with our office being on this side of Cape Town, you can see, you just give it a second, you can see, it's not being nice to me right now. You can see where this device was and what time it was there and when it picked it up. So yeah, I was visiting a school, and you can see on what date I was at the school, how long I was there, and what I was doing. So it just gives you that extra ability to be able to just track and manage where these devices have been at all times, and ensure that your device is always looked after. So that's really devices in a nutshell. It's like I said, it's just a great, powerful tool once again to allow you to centrally manage devices, do any checking that you need to ensure that devices are up to date, applications are pushed. Should applications be missing, you have the ability to do it from a central point, as opposed to having to go to the device, look at the device, and do it that way. You can now do this remotely. So very, very cool. I think it's one of my favorite things to do within the portal, just because of the ease and the ability to now remotely do these kinds of changes. I think it's quite a game changer. So yeah, please feel free to reach out to me once again. If you have any additional questions when it comes to managing your devices, always happy to engage, set up some time and take you through it. And looking forward to seeing you in the next episode with creating your e-policies with Mobile Guardian. So that's now taking a look at the profile section that I was talking about, restricting content, restricting websites, and making sure that we're protecting kids and users from malicious sites. So looking forward to seeing you there. Have a great day.